It is 11:01 on January the 10th, and we now convene the EDSAC meeting. Jason, take it away.
Oh, yeah, roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting the roll call. Okay. Murphy? Okay, Murphy's not in attendance. Todd?
Present.
Okay. Elia Hawk, Commissioner Hawk?
Present.
Okay, and we have Scott Potter from the EDSAC committee here as well.
I'm
And
here.
then, okay, David Dumas and I are here. Sorry, does that work, Jason?
Yes.
Did you get it, or did my coughing probably tear up your recording? So.
Okay. So today we have one case. It's for 2111 Flora Street, Suite 105. It is located in the Arts District Sign District. It looks like there's going to be a little bit of the delay between slides, so forgive me. It's an application for a certificate of appropriateness by Melissa Hallett of Mellow Signs for a 14.141 square foot attached illuminated sign at 2111 Flora Street, Suite 105 on the southeast elevation. It is in the Arts Sign District. The zoning is Plan Development number 145. And the proposed sign is considered a flat attached sign. It does meet all applicable code. Here is the purpose statement from the Arts District Sign District Ordinance. The Dallas Arts District represents a concerted effort on the part of the city and the arts organizations to consolidate major art institutions in one mixed-use area. The sign regulations in this division have been developed with the following objectives in mind. One, to protect the character of Flora Street and the Arts District from inappropriate signs in terms of number, clutter, size, style, color, and materials. Two, to enhance the image and liveliness of the Arts District by encouraging compatible signs that are colorful, decorative, entertaining, and artistic in style, while being functional and informative in purpose. Three, to promote the commercial success of each individual tenant in the Arts District and in turn, the commercial success of all the tenants in the district collectively. Four, to create a sense of design uniformity between signs and the other streetscape elements of the Arts District. And five, to help make the Arts District an attractive place for the public to frequent by providing ease of direction to specific cultural institutions. Six, to create a means of identifying the various types or categories of retail establishments along Flora. Seven, to identify and promote cultural events and activities consistent with the purposes of the Arts District. And eight, to recognize that sign hardware is a part of the overall visual design and to ensure that investments in signs and other structures in the Arts District are not devalued by inappropriate or poor quality sign hardware. And if you'll give me 1 minute, I believe our applicant is online. No, that's not them.
Oh, Murphy joined us.
Okay. So the location of the site, the subject site is located within the inner loop of the downtown area. The site is approximately 3/4 of a mile north of City Hall on the north side of Flora Street, bound by Harwood and North Pearl. Here is a location of the sign district. Again, this is the Arts District. And the aerial and zoning maps. Here is the location of the sign provided by the applicant. It's the corner suite there. This is the sign elevation, as well as a photo provided by the applicant of the existing conditions and the sign details. This is a reverse lit, or a reverse set of channel letters. They're illuminated with white LED, mounted on a background panel that's flush against the building. Here are the sign details. You can see the overall projection of the sign is 4 inches. There's a 2-inch standoff, and the dimension or the thickness of the letters is exactly 2 inches. The Pantone color is 4202C, which is a dark gray. And again, it does illuminate with white LED, and it will halo light against the building. And all electrical components will be behind the wall. Here is a photo of the subject site. It is on the southwest facade. And the proposed location of the sign, it's in the band between the 2 windows. And this is facing southwest and northeast on Flora, and southeast and northwest on Olive. Here are some of the other signs around the district. These we considered, the Flora Lofts was an awning sign, and then the GFAM Foundation would be a cultural identification sign. Both of those are channel letters that are lollipop style on top of the awning, and they both illuminate out of the front of the letter as well as halo light behind the letter. Further north on Flora, we've got the Artisan, which is a halo lit letter on a backplate, as well as the Museum, which is of the same type of construction as the Artisan. And here are 2 cultural identification signs, one for the Morton Meyer and Meyerson, and the other for the Crow Museum. And this is the Park Fast, which is right at the foot of where this proposed sign is to be mounted, and the AT&T Performing Arts Center, also a cultural identification sign. And staff recommends approval.
Discussion? No comments?
I had a quick
So
question.
go ahead.
Go ahead, Commissioner Hawk.
I had a quick question. On in the case report, it talks about colors. It doesn't say specifically, but on page 2, it says to protect the character of Flora Street and the Arts District from inappropriate sign and number in terms of number, size, style, color, and materials. Is that just by, and this is just a question for my own education, color, is that just decided like on a case-by-case basis? Because I was about to ask if there's a color palette, but then I just saw that bright green, like in a color palette, but then I just saw that bright green for the parking sign. So how is that determined? I'm just curious.
For the general zoning district, or I say general zoning district, the Arts District has 3 sub-districts. Some of the sub-districts actually get into color restrictions. However, just the Flora frontage area does not have any colored, I guess, color restrictions. I think that would be more the purpose of this committee, to help determine what's appropriate on a case-by-case basis.
Got it. Okay.
Jason, can I kind of add something there? Because what we've normally done, Commissioner Hawk, is look at more muted tones that are consistent with the buildings, like grays and very muted palettes. Scott, do you want to kind of talk to that too?
Yeah, so I was just going to make the comment on slide 13. It is listed, and you clarified that the illumination is also white.
Mhm.
I know there was an instance in years past that kind of wasn't fully appreciated by me, that that the LEDs have the ability sometimes to change color. but it looks like this is non-changeable. It would be white at that 6500 K temperature. So just wanted to clarify that that's the case. But I think with respect to color, it does seem to be viewed on a case-by-case basis, and why you want the fabric of the district to all kind of be in the same palette, as you said. I think when you look at buildings that have come up, over the years, especially new developments like One Arts, I think was one of the first outside of the cultural institutions. They seem to have a color palette that, and I'm going from memory, more red and yellow in some cases, but it did address parking and retail and other things. And again, I think the goal was to make sure that it wasn't jumping where on any one building or development you had 12 different colors that were on the building. As long as it is kind of in the same scheme, and maybe there is one accent color. I think we've been comfortable with that, but there's no clear, fast rules that I've seen.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
I think it's also fair to add that as over the last few years, as we've looked at these, we've kind of held a higher standard for Flora Street because that is really where the arts institutions are. But we've also recognized that some of the other facing streets that are more business oriented, we've been a little more lenient on those in terms of letting them, be a little different and more related to business use. But we very much tried to hold the line on the Flora Street, especially anything close to any of the institutions, just so that we can keep that character that was spelled out in the objectives for this sign district.
Yeah, and there was it in one of the sub-districts where we hadn't caught it? And at nighttime, one of them has like red lighting or something, and shame on us. So we are trying to be a little bit more
That's why we pay a lot of
consistent,
attention
and pay attention to
lighting.
color palettes and lighting in this area. Because we did mess up. Not perfect, but I think we're trying to stay with more the softer palettes in that area. And it sounds very snobbish, but more sophisticated sign look for that area, because it is an area that we want to attract our visitors. We want our visitors to the city to really be impressed by our arts district, because it is probably, from my perspective, one of the best in the United States. So.
Well, and
Any other-
additionally, on Flora, their limit on the number of signs is not
Yeah,
the same. All the other sub-districts have a limit of 1 or 2 signs on, besides they're not facing Flora, whereas Flora is kind of wide open. So I think that's one of the reasons why we're also a little keen on holding Flora to a higher standard.
yeah. And I'll agree with Commissioner Hogg. When I saw the green on the park, I sort of went, ouch, because it was a bit of a shock.
It's
Okay.
noticeable.
Do we have any other discussion? Sorry, I thought I heard somebody start to say something. No other comments?
Mm-mm.
Then do we have a motion on this sign?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Commissioner Hawk makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Second by Todd. Okay, we'll do a roll call vote since we're virtual today. Okay, Scott, your vote?
Approved.
Approve. Commissioner Hawk?
Approve.
Todd? Pardon?
Approved. Approved.
Murphy?
Approved.
David?
Favor.
And the chair votes in favor, so this is a unanimous. Okay, so that piece of business is concluded. And before we talk about minutes, I have a question for staff. We talked about revisions to the, help me with pronunciation,
Sasaki.
Sasaki plan, thank you. Sasaki plan. Do we know where that stands at City Hall? Because I know when Pierre Shako was here, there was some discussion about going in and revising it, and there were some sophisticated proposals about sign toppers and stuff for street names and things like that. Do we know if that's ever going to move out of review, I guess is the right term.
There is a new master plan in place. We do have an authorized hearing to update the Arts District sign code in light of the removal of the Sasaki plan. That is on the table. I'm hoping for this year to get that done. That is next on my list. So it is coming. It's to bring the current code into line with the new master plan.
Okay, how does that also cover what was discussed as the extension to the Arts District, Jason? Because that was at one time going all the way down to, was it St. Paul Street or something?
I'll have to look at that, but the authorized hearing was only for the Arts District special
The
permit.
currently defined
So-
Arts District, not the extended plan that they looked at. Okay, okay. Then any other questions or concerns that we need to raise before we look at the minutes?
As well as the calendar.
Oh, that's right. I didn't bring my calendar with me. Let's talk about the calendar first. Has everybody had a chance to review the calendar? Jason, do you have it on your PC? We'll pull it up.
Yes.
Get it one more time.
Right now.
Okay, thanks. And of course, we have, because of the sequence of events that has to occur, we have certain deadlines that we have to meet in preparation for things going on to city planning commission. So we're kind of anchored to that as well.
See if I can zoom in a little bit.
Okay. Okay. So if you can all see that clearly, does anybody see any concerns with that calendar?
No.
Other than Valentine's Day, I don't, but I guess we'll. Okay, that does say, Jason, I did read it. Okay, if there are no questions or concerns, could we have a motion to accept or approve the calendar?
I'll motion to approve the calendar.
Okay, motion by David, do we have a second?
Second,
Second, okay. Was that Todd or Murphy? I couldn't tell.
Potter
That was-
seconded.
That was Scott.
Oh, that was Scott. Okay, thanks, Scott. I heard a male voice. Okay, all in favor, we'll do the roll call again. Okay, I'll just look up there. Todd,
In favor?
in favor, Commissioner Hawk,
In favor?
Scott,
Favor.
Murphy,
Favor.
David,
In favor?
and the chair votes in favor. So the calendar for next year is approved. And then we have one last item. And thank goodness Jason took excellent notes because it was 9 months ago that we had our last meeting and my memory does not extend that far in the past. So did y'all get a chance to review the minutes or have any changes? It basically, we had one sign for Flora Street and it was a unanimous approval for that
I saw
sign.
no issues with it. No issues.
No issues with the minutes, okay? Then the,
Two signs weren't there.
oh,
Yeah.
wait, yeah.
Yeah, there
There
were
was-
two signs.
There was one
There
thing that
was-
I noticed.
There was one sign. Yeah, Commissioner Hawk.
Murphy's name is in present and absent.
Oops.
That's a good catch.
Oh, right there. Yeah, so,
Murphy, did you recuse yourself on that one?
well, no, it was Webster, right?
Okay, Webster.
No,
Did you
Jason
say,
didn't call in because he didn't know if he had quorum or not.
I'm sorry, say again, Murphy?
Jason asked me to call in because he didn't know if there were going to
Oh,
be enough
okay.
to make quorum or not.
Okay. And the only CA I saw approved was
Yeah.
220-314-0007. So,
A second.
That's correct then. Like my memory, like I said, it's been.
okay, that was correct. We only had one.
It was the one in April, I think.
Okay. So Commissioner Hawk, are you satisfied that the minutes are then correct or not?
Yeah, just so in the present and absent line, it's got Murphy's name twice, and then you'll just have to correct
Oh, okay.
result at the.
We just, okay, we need to strike him from absent
Right.
then. I see what you're saying now. I thought you said it was his
Let me
spell.
check the recording on that.
Okay, because Murphy did call in, because we did have him.
Yeah, we had him as president.
Well, look at the speakers. So I mean, I don't think he would have been present for that one.
Okay. Marie Bynum?
Yeah, I don't think
Well-
he was there.
Was it that he was here and that he abstained? He recused himself?
I can check the recording and we can,
I think you probably ought to do that.
but I'm pretty sure he wasn't there and I just forgot to pull it out of the present. Because that's,
Murphy, did you attend that one? Do you remember it?
I did not.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
okay,
We'll strike you completely then.
okay, we will. We.
Nothing personal.
Oh, sorry about that.
First time.
Thank you, Commissioner Hahn, for catching that.
For sure.
And then Murphy, we're going to amend the minutes to reflect that you were present at that meeting.
It was not.
no, he was not
He
present.
was absent.
Was
It's
not.
listed in both columns, Jason, so we need to strike him from the present column, and it will show him as absent from the meeting. So since we do have a change, do we have a motion to approve the amended minutes? Oh,
I'll
come on,
motion-
guys.
I'll motion to approve the amended minutes.
Todd motions to approve, moves to approve the amended minutes. Dave, can I
I'll
count you
second.
for a second? Okay, and then we'll go through our roll call again. I just love roll call votes. Okay, Todd.
As amended, approved.
Okay, Commissioner Hawk.
Approved.
Okay, Scott.
Approved.
Murphy.
Approved.
Dave,
Approved.
approved, and the chair votes to approve. And we do have Michael King online now. Did we need to have any discussion regarding that?
No.
And Jason, do you want to reprint these before I sign off on? Okay. Do we need to allow Michael to speak since?
No, he's just there as a backup for host, just in
Okay.
case.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you. And since we have completed all of our business, then the meeting is hereby dismissed effective 11/24 on January the 10th. Thank you, everybody, for calling in or being
Thank you.
here.
Have a good
Good
day.
Thank you.
All right.
New Year. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Happy New Year.